Meet the Truth by Andriy Turak.
A few years ago, I wrote a quote by Lester Brown on this box of flakes. We do not inherit the planet from our parents. We borrow the planet from our children. Let me repeat it again. We do not inherit the planet from our parents. We borrow the planet from our children. But what kind of planet our children will inherit? If you look at the 10 hottest years ever measured, all of them have been occurred in the last 14 years. The world is heating up fast, and we have ourselves to blame. Global warming, that's the world's greatest current concern. Probably you heard that the main cause of global warming are greenhouse gases, like carbon dioxide and methane. But what are the causes of greenhouse gases? What do you think? If you ask people at the streets, you might heard answers like, it's the cars, buses, airplanes, industrial plants. And yes, it's true. But no one yet won the grand prize. 18% of global greenhouse gas emissions caused by livestock farming, farmed animals. Transport caused only 13%. Just think, all cars, buses, trucks, ships, airplanes added together in the world cause fewer amount of greenhouse gases than meat industry. So let's talk about how meat industry destroys our planet. Two major problems: methane and deforestation. Methane. One average dairy cow produces 25 liters of milk per day, and also 700 liters of methane. In a year is the equivalent of carbon dioxide made by Toyota Land Cruiser traveling around 1.5 times around the globe. Since on our planet are billions of cows, you can imagine how big damage caused only by cows. Deforestation. For the last 10 years, consumption of meats doubled. They don't create methane problem, pigs and chickens, yes? But they have to be fed. And for example, number one soy producer in the world, because animals eating grain, soy, and corn, in the world is Brazil. They already destroyed 70% of Amazon rainforest and woodland savannas. You know that the forests are lungs of our planet, and we're losing our lungs. Let me ask you a question. If somebody cut off 70% of your lungs, how would you breathe? Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations have estimated that by year 2050, meat consumption will double. It means increasing of methane, deforestation, and so on and so forth. And by year 2100, 3 billion of people will be in dire need of fresh water. Hunger will increase over the large part of the globe. Do you want your children to live in those severe conditions? I bet you don't. Scientists have estimated how greenhouse gas emissions will change if every person in a country like United States go without meat for 1 or more days per week. Here are some of the results. 7 days without meat is like all cars take off the road. Same effect. 5 days without meat, like planting 13 billion trees in your garden and let them grow for 10 years. 3 days without meat, like all cars replaced with electromobiles. And 1 day without meat is like saving 90 million airplane tickets from Los Angeles to New York or New York to Los Angeles. As you see, little step for one man is the giant leap for the mankind. You don't have to become vegetarian. Just ask yourself simple question. For how many days shall I go without meat to reduce global warming? And if you're still not convinced, if maybe climate change really doesn't matter to you, why not to reduce consumption of meat for sake of the animals? Because they just silent victims. They can't stand for themselves or do it for yourself. Because you consume not only meat, no. You also take a very bad karma from the murders of the animals, believe it or not. You have the eyes, ears, minds, and hearts. Use them. Research that issue. Find out the facts and make your own decision. What should you do to make it a better place to live? We can do it together. Imagine all the people living life in peace and all living creatures sharing all the world. You might say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will be as one. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space to make a better place. Heal the world. Make the better place for you and for me and an entire human race. Our planet dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better world for you and your children and your children's children.